Our main, that's me, that's good. Our main time for chance. Really high. The other ones are my and his skin is like that. Our second one like that too. It lives in the sun within a day. It's so beautiful. Just kidding.
That's really, I'm trying to think of Okay.
Slow it down a lot.
Let's get together and talk.
Yeah, I mean,
It's quite interesting.
we'll start getting busy soon.
That's gonna give you like a.
Did he always wear glasses?
It's more, right, it's for the.
I've never.
You don't need to worry about that one since it's going away.
Only some, there's some are not walking away. It's like, we do a lot of growing plants and stems. I mean, propagating.
I wonder if there's a series.
I'd like to call to order the organizational meeting for the Glades County School Board, November 19th. We'll begin with the invocation by Board Member Prowan and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Board Member Clement. Please stand.
Father God, I just thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening, for the opportunity to serve the school district of Glades County and the students of this county. I thank you for my board members and the ability we have to work with one another and welcoming Mr. Lucky to the board. I ask you to be with us during this meeting this evening and to bless each and every person that's here. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Our notice of meeting guidelines, any person who desires to appeal any decision made by the school board with respect to any matter considered at the above notice meeting will need a record of the proceedings, and such purposes may need to ensure that a verbatim record of proceedings is made. Such record includes the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal may be based. Prior to school board voting, the public is at liberty to speak in regards to a particular item on the floor. Comments not pertaining to items on the agenda will be heard under general public comments. Please limit public comments to 3 minutes. At this time, we will begin our swearing in of school board and superintendent.
Who wants to go first?
We'll let Mr. Lucky.
Hold your Bible.
My fault. Okay, before we get to that serious business, that photograph, that hadn't been there before, has it?
It's been there a couple years now.
But
Pretty
I
neat.
bet no one in this building, except for myself, remembers it or went to school.
Did you go to school?
I went to first and second grade in that.
Did Jen go there as well?
Well, I don't know.
I think
but I
her
would
might
imagine.
have, I think her might have much.
All right. You would. You put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Larry Russell Lucky II,
I, Larry Russell Lucky II,
and where are you? I know you were wanting to get pictures, so come on around here and we'll finish it up. That's their name. Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United
and
States
the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida,
That I am duly qualified to hold office,
that I am duly qualified to hold office,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
perform the duties of school board member for Glades County,
perform the duties of school board member of Glades County,
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You're welcome to do so now.
In 1984, my dad ran for property appraiser and won and served for 28 years. And up until that time, no one held the Bible. No one was appointed to specifically hold the Bible. And I, as a 17-year-old, I held the Bible for my father. And then the next election, the current judge, Kirby Sullivan, who just passed away a few months ago, he gave Bibles to those who were being sworn in. And then every child in my family, plus my mother, has held the Bible for my dad because he was in office 28 years. So I just kind of wanted him to hold the Bible for me so we could just go full circle. And I'm happy to do this.
Had termites in it too. I, Gene Prolong,
I, Jean Clark,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United
and the
States
state of Florida.
and the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified to hold office,
I am duly qualified to hold office,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
perform the duties of school board member for Glades County,
perform the duties of school board member for Glades County,
of which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Would you like to say something?
I don't think so.
Since you asked about the color of the brick, and all I have to say is my father went to school there as well. And played the violin.
Oh, my goodness.
Cool.
I, Dr. Alice Elizabeth Barfield,
I, Dr. Alice Elizabeth Barfield,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified to hold office,
I am duly qualified to hold office,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
perform the duties of
perform the duties of
Superintendent of the Glades County School District,
Superintendent for the Glades County School District,
which I am about to enter.
which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm actually gonna read something. So I just wrote something down real quick because I get emotional, so I wanna say something, I'm gonna read something. I just said it was with great honor and immense gratitude that I stand before you today as I'm sworn in for my second term as your superintendent of schools. To be entrusted with the responsibility of leading this district for another 4 years is not something that I take lightly. I am truly humbled by the trust and confidence that our community has placed in me. When I reflect back on the past 4 years, my heart swells with pride for all that we've achieved together as a school board. We have made great strides, not just in academic performance, but in fostering a community of collaboration, resilience, and growth. We've come a long way, and it's been an incredible journey. But none of this would have been possible without the hard work and commitment of each of these board members, as well as the teachers and staff of our district. Our educators, our staff, students, and families all contributed to this success. As I look forward to the next 4 years, I'm really excited with all the possibilities that are just coming so quickly as we build this foundation together. And I know we will continue to break down barriers, achieve new milestones, and ensure that every student has the opportunities they need to succeed. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge someone who plays an essential yet unsung role in my work, my husband, Thomas. And he is going to kill me when I get home because he never likes me to do anything like this. But I think people need to understand what it's like to be married to a superintendent of schools. Thomas, your unwavering support and strength have been my anchor, and you have been by my side through long days, countless school events, and times when I've had to be away from home to fulfill my duties. The sacrifices that you make, often without recognition, are a reminder to me of the commitment it takes to serve in this role. Thank you for being my rock and for always being there for me, no matter the hour. I could not do this job without you, and I could not do this job without our family. And that is something that we have over 30 years of marriage, we have committed to, and now we're getting to see the payoffs and the benefits of that. So I'm blessed with that. Finally, to the Glades County community, I want to thank you for believing in me, for supporting our shared vision, and for working together to create the best possible future for our students. I'm excited to continue this journey. As we move forward, let us remember that at the end of the day, it is all about student growth and achievement. Glades County will be known for doing what is best for our kids, and our outcomes will overshadow any shortcomings. And I want to say that one more time. Our outcomes will overshadow any of our shortcomings. Together, we will make sure that every child has the opportunity to thrive and succeed. I also want to say these words in conclusion. The opposite of courage is conformity. In Glades County, we will choose courage. Together, we will be strong for our students and for the future generations who will follow in their footsteps.
Congratulations.
Okay, at this time, I have my glasses because I can't see. I am going to accept nominations and the election of a board chair.
Madam Superintendent, I'd like to nominate Crystal Drake for board chair.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. So, do I hand this over to you?
I think you finished.
Okay, all right. All right, this time we'll go to 2.2, accept the nominations and election of our board vice chair.
I would like to nominate Ms. Jean Proline.
Second.
All opposed? All in favor, all opposed? Okay. So moved.
Madam Chairman, could I just say something? I just want the public to understand what we're doing because our board made a decision a few years ago that we wanted the leadership role of chairman to not stay with one person. So we have an unofficial rule that the chairman has been the same for 2 years, and the vice chairman automatically has been moving up to chairman, and I hope that we'll be able to continue that. Because that gives everyone a chance to see what it's like to sit as chair, to see if you get to do a few extra things as chairman, and I think everybody deserves an opportunity to be in on some of that extra stuff. So I just want the public to understand, what we were doing, and that we were trying to rotate the responsibility of
And it is
chair.
a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it is. Good.
2.3, we're gonna establish and approve the 24-25 school board meeting schedule.
I'll second. Oh,
Everybody's looked, there's not any dates that interfere.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. All right, this time we're going to adjourn the organizational meeting and we'll begin our regularly scheduled.
Don't leave, there's cake.
Everybody just stay right where we are. Okay?
If you leave, you miss out on the cake.
You did good.
I feel bad because I didn't say anything. I mean, Beth gave all these accolades to Thomas, and there's Dick. Every step of the way, and I could not do this job without him either. I just told him this afternoon, I have no place to go tomorrow, you're cooking breakfast and dinner.
Just gonna go house shopping with me.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. And we will skip over the invocation and pledge since we previously did that. We previously read the notice of meeting guidelines, so I'm going to do that. Either, we'll move right into our business of item 2.1, approval of minutes for the Blades County School Board regular meeting, October 24, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Ms. Clement, a second by Ms. Prolant. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item 3.1, approve the October 2024 finance reports and warrant register. Have a motion by Ms. Pierce,
Second.
second by Ms. Prolant. Is there any discussion? Okay.
Yes, I have a question on the facilities and food service on our, wait. Finance reports. Those were empty. Is that supposed to be empty?
The food service is under 7,600, which is empty, and then, because it's not under general fund. It's under actually, so the 7,600 under the general fund is empty. But if you can see it under page 6. Food service.
I just noticed that, and I hadn't noticed it in the past, so I just wanted to ask tonight before.
Yeah, that would be any expenses that were paid for food service out of general fund. Would be on that, on page 3 that you're talking about.
Dawn, did you want to give us an overview of the financial report? I asked her to do that for us, and then if you have any more questions, she'll be at the podium so that, she can point things out to us that are new or different that we need to be aware of.
Okay, so I did this pretty quickly. And there may be extras. Carol prepared the October financial statements and she is giving me the raw data form. But I did review all of the pages and so I've put some highlights on here for any of you if you have any questions. And then after the meeting or another day, if we need more information, I'm happy to provide that, but I figured, if I give you an idea of what there was an increase or a decrease of, So on the first item, you'll see that the ESE 139, I've specified that that is the adopted budget. The ESE 139 and the current budget both still have the same bottom line. Position changes and benefits can change throughout the fiscal year, and that is common. For example, we just got a Cigna quote with our benefits, and that goes into 24 and 25. So that changed the benefits versus what we budgeted versus what we're actually going to spend. The projected fund balance sits at 5.16%. Your capital outlay funding and revenue starts appearing around the end of this month into December, and you'll see that in your 3,700 account. So the page 2 of your financial statements is your function and objects. So under 5,000, that includes your basic education and ESE. There was an increase in positions there and a decrease in contract cost, and that specifically is gonna be your teleteachers. So we actually have a couple on-staff SLPs, and so that was again, position changes. It's an overall decrease of, and this is a change from the ESE 139 adopted to what we're currently doing. So an overall decrease of $155,935.18. Under 6,100, and we're still on page 2, pupil services include your mental health and your guidance counselors. An overall increase of $63,309.75. And from what I can see in the budget, that's an increase with dual enrollment costs because we have more students in dual enrollment. 6,200 is your media positions. Decrease in certified, the certified librarian, and now we've got paras and we're combining staff positions. So there was an overall decrease there of $40,912.41. 6,300, you're gonna have your curriculum, your ESE director, and your student services. There's an overall increase of $89,276.39, and that again is due to a position because the year in 22-23, we had a director of curriculum that came out of general fund. In 23-24, we were blessed to have that position come out of a grant. So now we're in 24-25, that now has to come out of general fund. 6,400 is your staff training and travel. There's an overall decrease of $10,000, and that's because Tara was gracious enough to get that funded for out of grants. Your 6,500 is your IT services, and that is a overall decrease of $65,529.60 at the moment due to an IT position vacancy. 7,100 is your board expenses. This includes the board portion of benefits, master's reimbursement programs, and so forth. There's an overall decrease of $1,405.32. Your 7,200 is your general admin, which includes the elected salary increases. There are decreased travel expenses, and there is some software in there, so there's an overall increase of $101,150.92. 7,300 is your school admin, and those changes are also due to positions plus benefits. Last year versus this year, we had some partial year vacancies, so there's an overall increase of $121,221.77. 7,500 is your fiscal services. This includes your clerks, the payroll department, purchasing. There is an increase in benefits, and then the overall increase is $25,162.72. 7,700 is your central services. That is inclusive, so when you look at that number, that includes HR expenses, your HR directors, secretaries, and then under your, I specified out for you, 7,730 is your HR, because on the financial statement, it just says 7,700. So 7,730 would be HR department, 7,790 would be your school resource officers, which are funded by the Safe Schools allocation. So there's an increase in the SRO at one of the locations we didn't have to pay for before, we're having to pay for this year. So there is an overall increase of $79,065.93.
Let me stop you right there, so we will have 4?
No, it's just, no, We had
One in each
3
school,
and
and
one
then
was.
there was,
There's a placeholder right now.
Yeah, it's a placeholder.
There is
one
a
in each
board.
school, and then
There's
there,
one in each school.
and then there was supposed to be one that was,
Still working on it.
I understand this great.
One that's overseeing that
Okay.
process.
And then in 7,800, that's your transportation, we had a repurposed position happen. There is going to be an increased energy consumption, but an overall decrease of $102,535.70. 7,900 is your operation and plant. This is inclusive of custodians. There was an increase in expected hours in a position. So overall increase of $78,373.33. 8,100 is your maintenance. There was a decrease in utilization of the Johnson controls that Mr. Boyles was working on, that we were able to use a different company. There was an overall decrease of $54,816.39. 8,200 is your admin tech. That is your MIS supervisor in that. And there was a decrease in contracted MIS tech services, which you'll remember was HEC. And there's an overall decrease of $126,426.21. But the bottom line is still the same.
So we don't have tax services anymore.
Not for tech. We're not contracting those out anymore, because we have that all on site now.
Dawn, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
Did you do this or
I did.
Thank you very much.
are we still having to utilize Carol as
As needed.
but are we having to use her as much as?
She finalized preparing the AFR. I have gotten the raw data of the financial statements, and she provided these
So you're set to go and do everything now?
as needed. I will be using her, but
The plan was for her to, for you to wean off of her, and that's, I
Yes,
think, what we're
correct.
trying to ask. Is there going to be a point in the near future where you will
Yes.
not need her services
very, very
at all?
near future.
Well, and I like that you're able to actually tell us something. But some, lots of times we depended on her and she didn't do anything, so. That was good.
Well, now you know what you're looking at.
I like this.
Yeah, me too. Did
So
you have any
I'll
more questions?
continue to do it every month if you want me
We would love you to do that, and point out for us when big grants come in, when we get our, that one big grant we get every year, let us know when it comes in. Just point things out on the financial that we need to
to.
be
When
aware
we
of.
changes, like
Or
the
big
capital outlay
expenses.
funding
Yes.
coming in and
I
stuff
do-
like that.
I do have one more question. The increased energy consumption, is that the increased energy consumption that we'll be getting repaid for?
That, I will have to look into specifically what was put in for that. I just know that was the reason for it. But then we've since found out that Highlands is going to be reimbursing us,
Reimbursed for?
reimbursing us for that, so that may come back down and be able to be repurposed. So that's gonna change a little bit, you'll see some of the gas and diesel costs change, the materials and supplies change, it'll kind of move around a little bit,
Well, $100,000 is a big thing, so
yes.
very excited to see that.
Any further questions? All right, thank you so much, Sean. So we had a motion and a second. Did you get that, Commissioner? All right. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you again, Dawn.
You're welcome.
All right, public comment on agenda items. Do we have any public comment? All right, we'll right on to my favorite one, new elementary school update.
Update, yay.
All right.
My favorite too.
Is that TV working on you? Turn it a little bit. Turn it. Just so they can see it, pull it out a little, pull it out. Wendy, can you see it? Can y'all see it at all?
You can't just move it
Oh, I
on,
got
they
it.
probably can't, but.
Try to get everybody.
Well, thank you for allowing me to come share. Right now, as you can see, we're moving along. We did do our first slab pour today, put 250 acres of concrete down. Currently, to date, we have 800+ yards of concrete in the ground. MEPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing underground is at about 85% complete. This area here, layout will start tomorrow, and the masons will start going vertical. We've started the wall, the posts are set for the precast concrete wall. Those panels will start going in tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if they're done setting them by Saturday, Monday at the latest, weather permitting. Underground underground storm sewer is ongoing. All our parts and pieces are here for that now, so that's moving along pretty good. We currently are running between 55 and 65 people a day on the site.
That's what was on that empty site right there.
This right here, that's a new bus range.
Okay.
So once we get the anchor bolts on site, then we'll start digging for that foundation as well, and start getting ground piece on that space. Right now, we're just trying to push to get the underground utilities installed so that we can kind of work around the bus schedule, things like that. We don't want to impact that, if we don't have to. Currently block, electrical, plumbing materials, those are all coming in pretty heavily. You'll see an influx of CMU block showing up. Now that we're getting slabs on the ground, we can start going vertical. Structural steel, everything's ordered. We'll look to see that towards middle of January. Next pour, we're gonna try to get another pour in before the holiday, weather permitting. Not quite sure if we can get there, but we're real close. All in all, everything's going really well. Inspections have gone great. We haven't failed any inspections through our procedures that we put in place. Subcontractors, safety-wise, we haven't had any accidents, no close calls, anything like that. We do our weekly meetings on Monday mornings. So far, everybody's going great. We haven't heard anything about any upset neighbors. We were kind of concerned about that this morning as the pump and the concrete trucks started showing up about 4:35 o'clock. But we did let the sheriff's department know, we did let the city know that we were going to do that, so. But yeah, other than that, things are going well.
To share with them how many people you were able to use at your.
So we just had the new, we just had the job fair. So it was a great turnout. I think we had about 50 people that showed up and put in applications. We had all our major subcontractors on site. We were very excited to be there. They had a lot of good feedback from the community, people showing up and doing these applications. They are following up with certain individuals who did put in applications. And again, there's processes they have to go through. But they do have, the MEP trades do have great apprenticeship programs. Iron workers have great apprenticeship programs. A lot of the feedback was, we would rather get somebody with no experience so we can train them, which is a good thing. And then also, train people that, want to do a career change with the right people. Some of the feedback I got from the subcontractors is they've done this in Tampa and Orange County here recently, and we had a better turnout here than they did in those meetings.
And you said you were able to use every single one that actually applied, right?
No, they're going through the process of sorting through the application. So pretty much everybody that was there, walked out with 10 or better applications per trade. So there's a selection process they go through. But they are, communicating and reaching out to a few that I know of. I will follow up with them, every week, midweek, just to see what that progress is. So I'll give you guys that information as they go. But, all in all, the subs, they walk away with a very positive attitude about it. They've had great interactions with the people that came in and filled out applications. So, hopefully, there's going to be a few people that get hired on. And I think there's some great opportunities out
Mike, could you address the lot between the school site and the back of those two homes that what we're gonna utilize that property for, which is gonna save money?
Oh, back over here?
Yes, sir. Could you push the,
Yeah.
because that's a significant amount of money, so.
Yeah, so back over in this space, back over here, I acquired that property. And by doing that, we gained area for the truss guys that will build the trusses on site. By going with trusses that are built on site, we save a significant amount of money. So I acquired the property next door in order for them to do that, which was, I think it was six-figure savings or something like that, which would be reallocated in the
6 figures.
the project. So, we're always looking at ways to try to, get more bang.
You didn't actually buy it, but you acquired it.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
it said,
so-
you said you acquired.
I have an agreement,
Yeah.
a rental agreement.
Brian's getting nervous.
Sorry.
Well, I wanted to
No,
know
I bought it,
too.
we're gonna hand it over to you later.
Well, yeah.
No,
Who did you acquire that from?
that's, Mr. Carl Perry.
Okay, and did
Right there, that property
Did
right
they
there.
Your spot right here, yeah.
they ask for insurance?
We have all that, we carry everything. So
Okay.
we have a lease agreement, our insurance company's insuring it. It basically becomes our job site.
Okay.
So it's covered under our. We'll fence it, we'll do everything like we have here, so. Yeah, it'll all be secure. But by doing that, we save some time and some money, in order
A lot of
to
hauling
expedite the
fuel.
project. I'm sorry?
A lot of hauling and fuel with trusses that you have to, if you have to haul
Exactly, trucking costs
Crazy.
are
them. Crazy.
crazy right now, especially when we're bringing, stuff in from other parts of the state. Whether it be, steel, anything, that's where a lot of costs are.
What about when the, just to let you all know, we went with the brick, Judge Lundy was pointing to that picture over there, and we tried to actually, Judge Lundy, you'll be happy to know, that we tried to simulate that as much as possible. But when the brick comes in, I know it's coming from, I believe, North Carolina, which is where the brick is coming, and it's like one of the largest brick projects in the state, it's something crazy. But where will that brick, where will that go? Where will?
That's on the exterior of the building.
I know, I mean, but I know that, but where? Oh my, where will it go as you're built, will you go, where will you store
We will store it on site.
it? Okay,
So basically, that area over there is pretty much our lay down area. So you see the connexes, you see the block over there. That's a good one, huh?
yeah, you're funny.
But yeah, everything will be stored on site.
Okay, whenever we did the high school, the brick that we have over there is just the fascia, it's just big, it's not the whole
No,
brick.
this is real brick.
Okay, so the whole brick,
Yes, ma'am.
that was just a huge cost savings for us to do it that way.
Now, the way the design is, it requires us to use full price.
Okay.
Any questions?
Is there anything we can do to help you, or?
No, just keep it back, be back.
Well,
We want to come visit the site. Can we do that if
Yeah,
we're
we-
hard enough?
Yeah, we could set that up, we do have hard hats in the office, and what we can do is set up, some field trips and things like that, so. We will be doing a mock-up of the building, smaller scale, and basically we'll implement all the components of the project into this one area, so that you can see what the finished product is.
If you want to talk to me a little bit more about the progress of the bus garage.
So-
Or where we are at with that.
Yeah, the progress, the bus garage right now, the pad is built, the subgrade is where we want it to be. We are installing the storm structures currently. So that's ongoing, water, sanitary sewer, those things will be going in as well. And again, we're kind of coordinating with bus schedules. I think the guys are gonna work, after Thanksgiving, all weekend, through Saturday through Sunday, to try to get out of the way of the majority of those components. Again, we don't want to impact buses coming in and out and creating a problem. So,
Well, thank you for that. That's
so,
great.
you know, the goal is to get that knocked out. If I get anchor bolts next week or the following week, I'll start digging that foundation as well. I don't wanna dig a hole and then something not show up, because then we, lose that hole. So, but all the components, all the materials for that building underground are here. The building itself is coming in January, so. But, the goal is to try to get that first lift asphalt in before Christmas. So that you have solid surface.
Well, we thank you very much. We appreciate all you're doing for us.
Thank you.
And thanks for keeping us updated, and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you.
Yeah, if we want to do the field trips, just give it Brian and he can set something up again. More than happy to do those things. And then as we progress further, we'll do the larger scale. Maybe some students and things like
And we're on time.
That'd be cool.
Our timing is still good and our budget is still good.
that. Everything's going great.
Good.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna have any
No,
worries.
I don't expect any issues.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Mike, will you send that to me? Is that the second one you sent me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm gonna put that on, social media as well.
I know, I found one out there, I did send the second one, if you can't open that, let me know. My team has revised me on it. Expensive. Sure. Anything else for me?
You can get on the road.
All right, everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry?
I said, we have cake if you want to wait.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much.
Be safe. You too.
All right, moving on to our consent agenda. Does anyone have any items they need to pull from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the entire consent agenda. Okay, I'll take Ms. Pierce as the motion. Second by Ms. Clement. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to the action agenda, item 7.1, approval of NCD Communications and Glades County Schools, Moorhaven Elementary School, West Glades School, and Moorhaven Middle High School legacy lockdown conversion. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion. We have a motion by Ms. Pierce, second by Ms. Furlong. Any discussion?
That's not what we discussed.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item 7.2, approval of Cat 3 Recovery LLC, emergency micro cleaning of Moorhaven Middle High School auditorium. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Motion by Ms. Prolong,
Second.
second by Mr. Lucky. Good job, Mr. Lucky.
Jump in.
All right, I loved it. All right. Do we have any discussion or do we have a presentation?
Do they have a quote? Do we have a quote of that?
Oh, yes.
It's on your attachment.
I can talk a little bit
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, come on. I don't want you to feel left out. You showed up and everything.
Well, yeah, thanks. It's nice, my first night as maintenance supervisor again, so I know a little bit about what's going on, but, no, what happened is, about a month ago, or a month and a half ago, the air conditioning went out in the high school auditorium for a short time, this is about 6 hours, 8 hours. And during that time, mildew started to collect on the ceiling of the auditorium. And so we look at what we need to do in order to, first of all, clean up the mildew. So the quote that you have was for the cleanup process. And I believe they will be done with the cleanup by the end of this week. If you go to the auditorium, I was in the auditorium actually yesterday morning. The ceiling looks brighter and cleaner than it did before this all happened. So it looks fantastic in there. I can go to the next part too. The next part is 7.2.
I You can go ahead and talk about it.
The next part is to alleviate that problem so it never happens again, and that's really to repair some of the things that were never actually taken care of in the first place. If you notice when you go into the auditorium, it's freezing cold. The reason that it kept that air conditioning so low is so that the mildew doesn't collect in there, and that's because the dehumidification system was never actually working very well. And so this proposal is to set that up so that this HVAC system works the way it was intended.
Thank you very much for taking care of that. That was a fiasco, and I appreciate your hard work
That's
on
Mr.
that.
Willis, thank you, you did a great job of that.
Yes, I did. All right, so we had a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so we'll move to item 7.3, approval, B&I contractor's proposal to repair Moorhaven Middle High School auditorium HVAC system. A motion by Ms. Pierce,
Second.
second by Mr. Lucky. Is there any other question or discussion about that item? All in favor? Ms. Pierce, are you an aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item 7.4, approve the Florida Education Finance Program full-time equivalent student enrollment and student transportation audit for fiscal year ended 6/30/23. Have a motion by Ms. Pierce,
Second.
second by Ms. Furlong. Is there any question or discussion about this item? Ms. Clement, we're on item 7.4. Did you have any questions about that item?
Everything's been addressed already and also been.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item 8.1, general public comments. Do we have any? All right. We'll move to superintendent report, item 9.1.
Okay, I would like to start tonight my superintendent comments by introducing a new member of our family and team, and I'd like him to come up to the podium and address you. This is Dr. Matthew Roy, and he is the new hobbling up there at Brokefoot principal at Moorhaven Middle High School, and he has been with us now about 3 weeks. And he has come in a breath of fresh air, and he is really getting stuff done. And I am loving what I'm seeing. I know I've been forwarding you all his monthly or his weekly updates, and they are moving and shaking at Moorhaven Middle High School. So I think he has a couple
I
of
read
things.
about his woes, though, God, I got so sorry for him, all the things that happened to him.
Yes, he's kind of had some little issues, but all right, so go ahead, Dr. Roy.
Good evening, Superintendent Barfield and members of the school board. I stand before you today deeply humbled and honored to have been appointed as the principal at Moorhaven Middle High School. This moment is not only a milestone in my professional career, but a culmination of years of hard work, guidance, and support from those who have shaped me into the person I am today. First, I would like to take a moment to thank my parents. They instilled in me the importance of hard work, dedication, and above all, faith in God. My parents taught me that success is not achieved by taking shortcuts, but through perseverance, commitment, and always doing what is right. They modeled what it means to serve others and always gave me the confidence to pursue my dreams. I can never fully express my gratitude for their love, wisdom, and unwavering belief in me. Next, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Barfield. Your mentorship, support, and belief in my abilities have been instrumental in guiding me toward this moment here in Moorhaven. You have been a role model for what it means to lead with integrity and compassion. I've learned so much from your leadership in the short time that I've known you, and I'm excited to continue that legacy in Moorhaven. Your example has shown me the importance of creating a positive and inclusive school culture where every student and staff member feels valued and empowered. To the school board members, thank you for entrusting me with this incredible responsibility. I know this decision was not made lightly, and I'm truly grateful for your confidence in my ability to lead. Together, we will work toward a future where our students excel, our students feel supported, and our community continues to thrive. I look forward to collaborating with each of you to ensure that Moorhaven Middle High School remains a place where excellence is the standard and every student has the opportunity to succeed. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the teachers, staff, and students of Moorhaven Middle High School. The work that you do every day shapes the future of this community. I'm eager to get to know each of you better, learn from your experiences, and work together to create an environment where all of us, students, educators, and families, can grow and succeed. In closing, I'm excited about the journey ahead. Together we'll face challenges, celebrate achievements, and build a school community that upholds the values of hard work, respect, faith, and unity. I'm proud to be joining this remarkable community, and I cannot wait to continue this journey.
Thank you so much, and we welcome you. I would like for you to address, as you came in, you also changed a couple of things, and I'd like for you to address the board for those, please.
Yes, ma'am. When I arrived at Moorhaven, I spent my first week just observing the school, and I immediately noticed that some of the students on campus were struggling to arrive to class on time. I really believe in protecting instructional time. Students cannot learn if they're not in class on time. We also know that when students arrive late to class, they interrupt the instruction for other students. Teachers have to stop, change their attendance, stop instruction for students who are engaged in learning. They have to re-engage their students after stopping that instruction. And so I wanted to make sure that students were taking their learning time seriously. So we have actually started implementing a process where we are holding students accountable for using the transition time with fidelity. So we have implemented detentions for students who are not arriving to class on time. We're taking the time away from them if they are not honoring the time that we've set for them. In addition to that, starting December 3rd, which we've already communicated with parents, we will be having a no cell phone policy on campus. We are going to be enforcing the state's law of protecting instructional time. So that way we can ensure that students are not distracted when it comes to actually learning the material that they're supposed to be learning. The teachers on campus informed me the first week that I was on campus that they felt students were distracted and that they were spending more of their time redirecting student behavior back to learning away from their cell phones. Students are still going to be able to have their cell phones on them. We're not taking them away from them unless they violate the school rule. We will ask the students to turn the phone in. For the 3 weeks of December that we are in school, we will give their students their phone back at the end of the school day as we transition into this new following. Beginning in January, I believe it's January 4th is the first day back after school. Students will be expected to turn in their phones, and we will have parents pick up their phones if they are using it. We're really trying to ease into this process because I know change is hard, and we want to make sure that we do have the community support as we get into this. And so I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'm really open to answering them.
I am gonna ask it, how is the tardiness now?
It's actually improved significantly. We've had probably 2 or 3 tardies each day when we first started. I think we had 15 on the first day. And so you actually can see the students hustling to class now. There's music that plays.
And the
right
ones
before
that
the beginning.
are now aren't repeats.
That's absolutely correct. It's
They're
one-offs.
truly tardy for a new reason.
Absolutely, and we've actually been very flexible with the kids. A lot of kids are telling us, oh, I was going to the restroom. Okay, well, let me verify with your teacher that that's true, and we'll take the detention away. We're really looking for those kids that are being openly defiant against going to class, and that's who we want to apply the
We had a lot of-
consequence to. So we're really being flexible. Teachers have been calling and saying, oh, Dr. Roy, I gave Johnny permission to be late to class, and so then we'll take the detention away at that point. We want to do what's right by kids. We're not trying to unfairly give consequences to kids, but we want them to know they're being held accountable for the school's rules.
And are we doing anything about absentees?
Ms. Dixon, she's one of our English teachers, she's actually volunteered to spearhead an attendance committee, and so I actually have a meeting for this week to actually start that process. So we're actually going to be using some of the resources on attendancematters.org to actually start an attendance campaign on campus.
Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
And I had a conversation today, actually about an hour before the meeting, with one of your teachers, and she called about something completely different, and she gave you a really big compliment. She said, with you, she said, you don't just give out directives, that before you even do it, you've thought it through, you've come up with a plan, and then you're just ready for them to help build on that plan. And I thought it was a compliment because this is someone that not necessarily is always positive, and she said that the teachers are absolutely loving your leadership, so.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I've seen that too, I've seen it in public media as well, so yes, and I'm glad and excited for you.
Thank you.
Well, I can support the zero tolerance that has been implemented, and we've needed that for a while, as well as your black and white newsletter that is your expectations. So, what was the thing that, one of the ladies won for best dressed?
Best dressed award.
Yeah.
She's just, I think she exemplifies, we have to look good for our kids. When we look good, they take us seriously and they know that we're here for them.
Yeah, that was exciting to see that you're implementing new things, making it exciting for the teachers, and when the kids see that the teachers are excited and that they're gonna pull through, they're gonna get through it. But I love that you're bringing in law and order to get it forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you for coming up tonight and introducing yourself and explaining your roles. It sounds like you're off to a great start. We're here to support you. So if you need anything from us, you just let us know.
Thank you. Thank you again for your time.
I was gonna say he's off to a running start, but I don't remember, but.
Maybe a rolling. Well, thank you.
I'd also like to say that today, we, myself, Ms. Prolite, Ms. Clemens, and Mr. Lucky, went out and did our celebration tour as we awarded, Teacher of the Year, Support Person of the Year, and then we did Principal of the Year for Glades County, today. And so, the district will be hearing about all these, but, West Glades Teacher of the Year is Sandra Van Wagner, and Support Person of the Year is Flora Zimmerly. Moorhaven Elementary School Teacher of the Year was Olivia Everett. Support Person of the Year was Anna Borovica. Moorhaven Middle High School Teacher of the Year was Mr. Sean Holligan. And Support Person of the Year was Mr. Dennis Washington. And Henrietta, Imahanga, their Teacher of the Year was Ms. Tracy Phillips. Their Support Person of the Year was Cindy Pierce. And their Cultural Heritage Teacher of the Year was Taylor Johns. And our Glades County Principal of the Year, which Glades County has never done
I was
before,
gonna say,
but I feel like we are ready to enter that era of leadership. Next year, we'd like to add the Assistant Principal of the Year for the county, but right now, I just felt like it was time, and so Ms. Tracy Downing won Principal of the Year for Glades County.
So did they go on to a state
Absolutely.
award?
Just like the Teachers of the Year, yes ma'am. And, those are that, and if you're an administrator and you are here tonight, and I have not already done so, and you have not got this, please do not forget your frisk book. I'm trying to get to these. And that's all I've got, and I'll answer your questions. Yes, okay, Frisk, okay. Frisk is, basically a disciplinary, procedure of getting, if there is a employee that needs to be reprimanded, how to do it professionally and legally. And so it steps you through all the different steps and covers all the legalities.
All right, we'll move into, thank you, Dr. Hartfield.
You're welcome.
We'll move into item 10.1, board member comments. We'll start with Ms. Prolot.
I don't think I have anything.
Mr. Lucky, do you have any comments?
I'm very happy to get started today. Unfortunately, my wife had to go somewhere, but she was awesome in my getting me started, and I want to recognize Sal Lucky for what she did the last 13 months, and my parents who believed in put all your eggs in one basket and manage that basket very carefully. I'm an only child, and that's what they did. So I'm excited to get started. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Pierce?
again, congratulations and welcome. And welcome to our new members of our team.
All right, Ms. Clement?
Okay, I have a couple things. I wanna start with the teacher lunches. I sent an email to Ms. Dr. Barfield about a couple questions that were concerning the district, and I know she reached out to Mr. Boyles and Mr. Wilson. And I just wanted to see where, I thought they were,
Somebody did presenting something.
Yeah.
So, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that goes back to, as you all know, Mr. Boyles is, he is resigning his position effective today. And so we are in the process of reorganizing the food service and that part of our district office. I can tell you at the next meeting, Ms. Clemens, I'll make sure that we do a presentation on food service. But it was a substantial amount of money that we were doing, or do you have the figures right offhand?
I don't have them off the top.
It was six
but it
figures.
was- Yes, it was 6 figures,
That there
along with waste.
was a lot of options, but a lot of people weren't utilizing the lunches. And so in order to save money, I didn't wanna cut down on the quality of food, and obviously, we don't wanna do that, we wanna make sure our teachers eat and our kids eat. But we just can't offer the amount of options that we were doing. So I'll make sure that is on the agenda, Carla, if you could note that we'll have that as a presentation for next board meeting.
And parents should know too.
no, it's just for the teachers.
Yeah, it was just
Oh,
staff,
okay.
it was,
Okay.
So what was the issue? They weren't happy with the food or?
So the teachers were sent an email saying that the teacher lunches will no longer be allotted there, that they are going to be able to get the student lunches with the student portions for the same cost. And so not all teachers utilize the staff and the teacher lunches, but the ones that do, a lot of them have things going on in the morning where they don't have time to pack. If they are going throughout the town to get lunches, they don't have time to make it back and eat lunch
They eat
before
in
they're.
the cafeteria, with the kids.
Well, a lot of them did eat the teacher lunches, and there were also extra eyes on the kids during that time, but now that they've taken that away, they're ready for options, if they have to pay more money, if, what are their choices to look into. I did ask for a cost savings on what it is by taking this option away and what it was previous. So the teachers are interested in what they can do. Some of the staff said they can't leave because they are working throughout the lunch period to get lunch, and there's not a lot of other options in town.
No delivery.
And, just looking at what our options are, our teachers and our staff are our bread and butter, we wanna make sure that we are taking care of them and we're giving them healthy and nutritious meals. I'm very
Leaving
food driven.
campus- But leaving campus has never been a serious option for people inside of the building. Occasionally.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to.
no, you're not
Not supposed to. I know they do.
But I think what Ms. Clemens was saying was just that basically, and I think if we can do a presentation and show you the amount of money that we're spending out of our general fund to pay for this, because it's not being covered in grants, it's not being covered in food service, we're not making money in the cafeteria. So that's money that comes out of that general fund that it's going, like I said, 6 figures that we're spending. And I get it, because I was in a school for the majority of my career, all except for the past 4 years, I've been in a school. But I can tell you, if it comes down to, if the kids get 6 chicken nuggets, and I can only get 9 chicken nuggets, and I think we have to weigh what's more, I
Or even if
understand.
that's an option, because right now their only option is to get the student portions for the same amount of money what they were paying for their meals before.
Okay, so I'll have Mr. Wilson come and present at the next meeting, I think it'll be a little bit more understandable and more clear.
And that's what it is at other districts, because that's exactly what I had to do.
I've worked in schools for a long time and we always either ate what the kids ate, or we brought our lunch. We never got a special meal. You just go to the lunchroom and get a plate like the kids get. If you don't like that, you bring them.
And that's difficult for Mr. Wilson, I have to tell you, because his passion is cooking. He loves to cook, that's what he loves to do. And so when he was, been able to use the commodities and to bring, he was able to make macaroni and cheese and add ham or whatever he was doing, he was loving that. But as we watched, and that money kept coming, I mean, when we show the amount of money, it's gonna shock you, because it shocked me. I did not realize the amount of money that we were spending on food service. But, I think I agree with you. I want our teachers to be full, and I want them to have a good meal, but I don't think we just can't afford it.
Okay, and I know I ask this every meeting, but are we able to get an update on the buses and the ones that,
Ones that what? I need an update.
yes, sir, just in general?
The electric buses?
Electric buses. In general, we have, the last meeting we had problems with 12-volt batteries, which are the startup for the batteries. We've taken care of that problem now. There's actually, they put a device on there so that if there is a drain on those 12-volt batteries, once they get down to 11.8 volts, everything shuts down. So we have had very little problems with the buses starting. In fact, we had a bus that the drive shaft had fallen out of, that had been repaired, it's on the road. We had two others that were down at one point, and that had to do with the heating system, and those were repaired. We have two buses right now that are showing an error code. It has to do something with when there was a power outage that happened over the weekend, and so they're working to get those taken care of. As far as, the kids on the bus or the drivers, they are loving them. I mean, they love having air-conditioned buses. And so, any specific questions about it?
Do you know when the cameras and the radios will be available for those buses?
The cameras are already on the buses. All those cameras they were installed on buses when they came.
Are they not working?
They do work, yeah.
They do work. We had a situation this past week where there was something that occurred and the driver had not put the camera on the cradle, so it didn't, so that's something that the bus drivers are gonna have to make sure that they do before when they start the bus, to make sure that camera's in the cradle. But that can be on a diesel bus, electronic bus, it doesn't matter. That's just driver maintenance of what they do pre-driving, just make sure that those cradles are set.
Do they have a checkoff list whenever they get on the bus of the
Yes.
things that they're supposed, is that included in it?
Yes. But
I don't know if that's included in it.
Yeah,
That's something
it's not
This is
added.
clean transportation.
Maybe that needs to be added, to it.
Oh my goodness.
But to answer your question, that was a situation that we had. The radios, the board, you all approved the purchase of the 100 radios, and those have been ordered, so.
That's all I had on the buses. I just wanted to get an update, and whoever's watching online or wherever, they can hear that too, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Highline seems to be doing good with getting us everything we need and.
Yes, yeah, when we have had times where buses have been down, if a bus has to be towed. We had 3 occasions where a bus has had to be towed, and those were all back in October, September. And all 3 of those occasions, there were no students on the bus. There are certain companies that can tow electric buses, the rest of them cannot, or they choose not to. It's just a different situation, but those costs for towing, we can reimburse for those costs. What happens is Highland gets with the transportation company that we bought the buses from. They send down technicians to repair those buses, whatever things we need. So yes, we have been working with them on bus routes too. Mr. Boyles has been very diligent in ensuring that certain buses are getting more charge in the morning than others. Those that, like the Lakeport, Palmdale, and Buckhead, those runs, we're ensuring that those are on the cradle a little bit longer in the morning so they can have enough juice to do the afternoon runs quite adequately. While some of the other buses that just go in town and maybe only go 25 miles, they're not given first preference when it comes to charging. When these buses are charged, They will charge them as soon as the bus drivers come back, which is about 8 o'clock, and they're usually on full charge till about 9:30. The two I talked about, the two longer routes, they may be on a little bit longer, and then they cut back on power because now you're getting in peak times. We don't want to disrupt any of the power in the area, of course, but also Highland is paying the electric bill, and they don't want to pay peak hour prices for electricity. So when the buses come back, they plug them in, but they're on low charge to begin with at about midnight, when everything's off peak hours, and then they go on full charge and they're fully charged by the morning.
I just want to remind everyone that that was all included in the grant,
No, that was all, that was all included in our contract.
in the contract with Highlands.
The bus that broke down on the way to school last week with the kids on it, was that a electric one? Do you know?
What was the question?
The bus that broke down with the kids on it on the way to school last week?
It may have been. It may have been.
I don't remember.
Well, they had to bring, I think, I heard they had to bring the bus.
Was it electric bus or?
It was electric.
I think it was electric. I was just curious.
And there are things that are gonna happen. I mean, we have diesel buses that break down as well. People never really seem to notice the diesel buses that break down that much.
And the increase in energy consumption, that's for just from the electric buses in the hours of their,
No, I would say the cost of electric, we're finding that, when I talk to Dawn, and I'm just kind of, I get a little bit of everything, but, we had some increases in electrical costs at the high school, and we're not sure where that came from, and especially in August.
this is just on transportation.
On transportation, all that's reimbursed. Yeah, the Island Electric takes care of all the electric, that's a separate meter. What happened is, for some reason, some of the meters, they were still in our name, and so
It
that's all
should have been
changed
billed
over.
to them.
It should have been.
Yeah, Highlands had set up the account where the electric company was supposed to bill them directly, and they didn't, they turned around and billed us. So we sought reimbursement from Highlands to pay us back, but they've since contacted the electric company and said, no, these are supposed to come to us.
I just seen that and wanted to clarify and make sure so that it wasn't documented in our general fund.
Yeah.
But now there's a deal with the high school that's getting extra electric?
Yeah, we're trying to nail that down as to what happened.
We're doing a monthly comparison by fiscal year, so from August of the year prior versus August of this year. And we saw an increase at the high school location in August from one year to the next, but we can't isolate it specifically to what or why yet.
Well, and there's Well, I mean, there could be a lot of things. It could be that you have to force they're turning on the floodlights, in the fields every night now.
But we did inquire around like what could have changed and we haven't got.
So that can kind of lead me into something else too. We're actually we're gonna be working with a group called Amoresco. And they're going to be working with us with the new school for sure. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be, do you want to explain that?
Sure.
While you're here,
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, so what we want to do is basically look at the two campuses that you guys are, of course, we're working with the new high school as well, to look at your energy spend. So you guys are spending, in 22-23, spent about a little over $500,000 on fixed electricity. You guys are spending about 15 to 20% more than the average school district in our area for electricity based on your square footage.
I have a question. You said we're spending 20% more than most, than school districts in Florida.
I didn't even, not even ones in Florida, just the ones in your area. So I did I looked at Glades, Hardy, Henry, Highlands.
Is that on billable rates or is it?
Couple different ways we look at that. We look at it based on your square footage. Okay, so it's your cost per square foot and your cost per student. your cost per student is off the charts
Right.
high. Your cost per square foot is about 15 to 20% higher than most of the other districts in
It's
this area.
because of our electric company.
Well,
That's what I was asking,
your electric rates are not horrible.
We heard that they were,
They're not,
it's not FPL.
they're fairly, I know, they're fairly comparable, and well, so you've got FPL on one of your campuses, right? And
It's
then
probably
Highlands on
fine.
your other campus, so,
And theirs is always lower.
yeah.
Even
So-
though Moorhaven has 2 schools, it's still, if you double what they pay to FPL, it's still
Sure.
less than what we pay for the 2.
So, I mean, all that comes back to say, there's an opportunity here to look into this and find out what's driving these energy prices, what's driving you guys to spend more than the average district in your area. So what we're gonna do is go in and look at each of these campuses, do what we call a level 2 energy audit. We don't charge anything to do that, but what we wanna do is try and identify energy conservation measures and give you guys a roadmap so that you can prioritize with your capital dollars, where's the best place to address things like aging infrastructure, deferred maintenance, things that are gonna move that needle on your electric spend, to spend that capital in the most effective way possible.
Is there a way to tell if, because I know what we pay the city of Moorhaven monthly is astronomical.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, is there a way that we pay them
Yep.
and they pay Blaze Electric?
Right.
And they pay.
And
And they pay.
yes, but my question is, how do we find out what it is that I know what we're paying the city,
Sure.
but how do we find out what the city is paying Blaze Electric?
So part of what we're gonna do is an energy bill analysis as well, to just kind of look at those facts and figure out exactly what you're actually getting for that money that you're spending.
Cause I'm interested to know if we're getting, how much surcharge we're getting on top of
Right.
what they're charging us.
I think that a lot of it has to do with our equipment as well.
Exactly, so that's normally what we see is, once these buildings are put into service, they're commissioned and everything is checked out to make sure that they're working correctly. Well, what happens 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road when, things break or things go unnoticed that start driving
The
these high energy
dehumidifier
costs?
stops working.
Exactly, so, and those are things like, there should be safeguards in place so that if a piece of equipment goes offline like that and it's gonna cause a detrimental outcome to the part of the building, people should be getting notices and alerts, and it shouldn't be something that goes unnoticed until it starts growing mushrooms out of the ceiling. So these are all things that we're gonna look at, so to make sure that things like this don't happen in the future, and not spending all this money to remediate things or deal with humidity issues and high carbon dioxide levels that affect student outcomes, all the rest of that. So it gives you a really detailed report, and the goal here is to give you guys a roadmap to figure out where the waste is and to be able to trim some of that waste.
Thank you.
Right, and part of that too, like the high school, when it was built, they have a computer program that's put in there, it's a company, ESSI, whatever. But, the thing is, over the years, when we've gone through a lot of principals, a lot of directors of administrative services, passwords have been lost. And so, all those lights, all those air conditioners, they are all on a system. And right now, the system pretty much just runs 24/7. So if you ever go by the high school, you probably notice that the hallway lights are on. Well, that's because there's no kill switch. There's no switch in the hallway to turn off the lights at the high school. And a lot of places, there's no switches to turn on. It's all controlled by this control system. And what we found recently is we've been able to get into this program, but we're not able to kind of move things back and forth like we would like to. With Amoresco's actually I actually went to Lewiston, to their middle school, and they use the program there. I got an opportunity to see the program is, it's very simple, very easy to see, it works, you can see where the temperature is in every single room, it shows you humidity, it tells you if the air conditioners are running, you can set different times for the lights to be off, lights to be on, so you can save a lot of money. It also keeps people from, and I shouldn't say this, but it keeps people from turning their air conditioning down to 67 or 65, just because they're hot or whatever. I know there's some people that get hot very easily, but
She's got her fan going right now.
it's not cost effective for schools relying like that, and kids have to wear hoodie sweatshirts to stay warm because.
These kids wear hoodie sweatshirts in 100-degree weather.
But my point is, it gives us a certain levity in the temperature that a staff member can have in their classroom without going way beyond. A lot of people, they set their thermostat at 67 at work, when they get home, they probably keep it on 72 or something like that.
Or if there's seven.
Yeah, and then just use a fan or something. It's, the program is going to go into the elementary school, and so to me, the maintenance person, I think it makes sense to also take a look at that at the high school, and I'm not sure if Westlake is on the program right now or not.
Westlake right now is using programmable thermostats to do to turn the air conditioners on and off.
Programmable
Programmable
thermostats.
So they're a thermostat that basically it's got a clock in it, and then you set in the thermostat, you say at 7 o'clock in the morning, turn the temperature down so people can be in the building, and then at 5 o'clock at night, turn the temperature up so we're not running the air conditioners all night. Well, what happens every time there's a power outage or the battery's dying in the thermostat, so as I walked through that school and looked at all the thermostats, none of the clocks are set correctly, so your schedule just kind of goes out the window. So at that point, the teachers walk in, it's hot in the classroom, and you turn the temperature down, and then it just kind of stays there forever. So not having that control over the mechanical systems, it's like having employees with no processes, right? You have to be able to tell the things what they're supposed to do, otherwise they're just gonna run amok, right? So this is processes that are in place for all the mechanical equipment in your buildings that reduce your operations and maintenance, reduce your energy spend, reduce wear and tear on the equipment so that it lasts longer, you get more value for that capital dollar you put to invest in that asset.
Actually spending capital dollars to save money in the general fund.
Right, and that's the goal, is like, any of these projects, our goal is to have them be self-funding, right? Or the energy savings or the operations and maintenance savings pay for addressing these aging infrastructure and deferred maintenance issues that we have.
Chairman, I'd like to just, if Mr. Redvall would to go to the podium real quickly, I'd like to acknowledge something that he did, and he might want to speak to it. This past Friday night, he stayed until like 10, 11 o'clock at night, submitting our school administrators evaluation, which has been something that, in 2016 was the last time that the state has received our, administrative evaluation. And so I've been doing when I got here in 2020, I did administrative evaluations, and I know the principals have also been doing them, but now we have an official state approved, or we're waiting on state approval, evaluation tool. So I didn't know if you wanted to address that or anything.
Based on the eight leadership, the state's eight leadership standards. We have 4. I think we were using 12, which was an old number. So it's an updated, modern, and it's written here. Our report in total, I think it was about 98 pages that we submitted to it.
And really, the 8 went into effect just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Previous to that, it was 10.
Right.
So I don't know what the 12 was, 12 kind of thing.
And it's a lot of work. It was a lot of work, and I want you to know he is doing a phenomenal job, and I just want to thank you publicly for what you've done. And he's done a lot of work in Skyward, trying to get our payroll. I mean, you just wouldn't believe the amount of things that he's kind of like the Titanic. I mean, you can't see everything going on underneath. It's not the Titanic.
Well,
It's kind of like the Titanic, but he's right.
Let me say it this way, I got here in July, and there was one project that I wanted to get done. But it didn't feel right, so I had to peel back, and there was more, and I haven't yet finished that project in July because I'm still peeling down. That's why I've been saying much up here, I've been still trying to weed out what we need and what we don't need, so that we can be efficient moving forward, and keep, things tight and clean and by North Means Esau points for us, our certificates are up to date and we have certified teachers teaching in the right area. If they're certified in 6th grade English, doesn't mean that they're certified in 11th grade. And those things kind of get out of whack, so we're trying to pull all that stuff back at the end to be clean and efficient, so we don't have to get back anything.
Right. Well, we appreciate your dedication to working so many hours. I know a lot of our directors.
Questions on that, evaluations?
So our next question kind of rolls into what you guys were talking about. We've got a change in our technologies, area. I just wanted to ask, do we have checking on the maintenance and upkeep of all of our new equipment and servers, so there's plans in place for everything moving forward to keep everything updated and safe there?
Yes.
Everything's going good
Yes,
there?
we do.
Okay. And I see Kirby back there, is he our new IT guy?
No.
No? Okay. Well, thank you for standing in tonight, Curtis.
No problem.
Tonight, I also was at the Chalanika committee meeting, and they asked if we are doing an ad for the book, for Chalanika book this year, that the deadline is coming up at the end of this month.
We always do.
Yeah, I was gonna say we always.
She said they hadn't received anything back, so I just let her know that we'd asked.
It's the whole board. It's the whole board, and they usually charge just like $500 or $600, but it's like $100 a piece.
She said she sent the email, she just hadn't heard back.
I didn't get it.
She might have sent it.
They should send out an email.
I was gonna say, yeah, email or how.
She said she emailed it, but I'll have her make sure she sends it to Ms. Carla.
Who is that?
Ashley.
Yeah, it needs to go to somebody that's gonna be responsible.
Obviously, we need somebody
I mean, somebody
responsible.
that's gonna be responsible to do it.
I don't think we received it.
No. But you only get 400 emails a day.
I was gonna say, I was in my office today and I have like at least 400 emails, so.
It's worse on Mondays.
Yeah, I'll resend it, Carla. I was stopped the other day by a gentleman that was interested in a million things for the school, and he also wanted to let us know that we don't have a flag on our football field for any of our events, that you have to look over to the elementary school.
The gentleman
That's not true. That is not true.
That is not true.
He addressed me, and so I looked into it right away.
The first
It's
page
in the
phone number.
scoreboard, isn't it?
It is, and that's not true.
Always
And
been there.
we
He
went to
said he was
every
gonna
home
come here
football.
Monday morning.
I think we took it down.
It hasn't, yeah, please go, Cody.
The first home football game this year that I was at, I did notice that there was not up, and I spoke to the appropriate people right then, because that means quite a bit to me, because I do have two boys here. One is a veteran and one serving currently, so that just means everything to me. And by the next JV game and all the games thereafter, the flag would fly high.
It's been at every one since.
And they're down by the scoreboard.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's there.
Yes.
But once I guided him to come
Every-
here, he
every
said he was
single
coming
game.
in Monday morning, I just don't know.
Did you get his number? Cause I didn't get his phone number. I wanna
He
call
gave
him
me
back.
his home address, so I will
That's
I
what
will
he
share
gave,
that with
that,
you.
yeah. That's what I have. I can
I,
write a letter.
I took that very, very seriously my first night. As a matter of fact, that night I was trying to find one to get up in the morning.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I've also had a lot of good questions about our athletics departments and their funding. There's been lots of sayings that some of the money that was supposed to be here is not there, within the thousands of dollars, from soccer to football to cheerleading and volleyball. And I know we had the athletic meeting on transportation. Is that something that we need to meet on and have a special meeting on?
I don't know what's the is the question that they spent money, that they,
Or money that was received with this hand, didn't make it to this account, or money in
The only thing I
general?
know about conversation wise was have the booster club reimbursed or given any funds to the athletic department? That was the only question I was aware of, but we're not in charge of the booster club.
so Booster Club it is not an entity of the school.
No, none of that. So the soccer, the boys and girls, they're having to find money out of pocket elsewhere because funds that were supposed to be there, one person had the thousands of money, it didn't make it to any of the accounts, so they're having to buy jerseys and everything else differently. There's lots of questions and lots of things that are going around, and I'm just curious on making sure that we're on the same page.
Have
what
them
makes that money
email,
is going
have them
elsewhere.
email me.
The last time there was a big deal on that, it was $10,000 and Trident funded the girls softball.
That was 3 years ago. I know exactly.
That was
what
the
you're
last time I heard of any big money being missing.
So some of the money is going to personal kids, they're putting it on there to pay for their Venmo, all of our fundraisers that we're doing, there's.
No Venmo or Cash App is
And that,
allowed.
I'm just saying, the email was recently sent out that is not to be accepted anymore. I just wanna make sure that it's reiterated out to the public that if you are being asked for money to be sent to a child's Venmo, we're not allowing that, to make sure that we're putting those placeholders there and not letting the community think that this is something that we're asking for. If you're being asked for money, make sure it is going through the right entity.
Do you wanna put that on school district social media? I mean, that's something we've sent out to staff, but
But we don't
Staff,
know if
so
it's
Dr.
a-
Roy, I know you have talked it over with your coaches. I have spoken to the coaches about it.
I've sent it out.
If there's red book rules when it comes to covering anything with cash transactions.
It should,
And we're we have done an amazing job at sticking to those rules. I can tell you that, as far as the fundraising is concerned, there is always gonna be fundraising in any high school in the state of Florida. And our coaches do a phenomenal job. We have the Booster Club, but the Booster Club does not finance all those sports, that's not their role. That's the part of the job of the coaches is to fundraise for their teams, and they do that. And those that don't fundraise, they don't have their organization doesn't have money. But I think if I was you, to answer that question to the community, if they know a specific instance where the money is, quote, not being funded the way they thought it was gonna be, then they need to come directly to either Dr. Roy, that's where they need to start, because as a high school principal, he has complete control over his internal accounts. And Dr. Roy will make sure that he investigates it, he looks into it, because that's where they need to go with it. And as far as any other thing above and Huh? Or at Westglades, it is Mr. Gaskins is the athletic director there. And also, Ms. Wills can address those, but I've not heard of anything specifically. I know the Booster Club, as far as supporting the athletes, this past Friday, we went up to, Madison County. Our football team made it into the playoffs. And I contacted the Booster Club, and they were very gracious, and they provided dinner for the athletes, and and that was about $1,000 that they put in. Now, our community is only so large, and the same people are getting hit over and over and over to donate. And so, we have talked about, this board has talked about how we can finance, we've provided transportation in the past, we can't do that. It's, there's only one pot of money, and it comes down to providing transportation or giving a raise. I mean, it's kind of, where do you go with that? So, I mean, I would just, whoever has asking you, I'm sure they get it just because they're concerned. They need to go to Dr. Roy with it.
And the head of each one of those
that
teams.
there's- There are thoughts out there that the actual school or the school district funds the athletic programs. And, that's not the case. They have to do their own fundraising, they have to do their own ticket sale, they have to do their own car wash, they have to be creative to
That take care of that.
That's up to them. There is no school money that is budgeted to say, okay, I'm gonna give this much to softball, this much to baseball, this much to football.
The main concern was people
Doesn't
saying that
exist.
money was put into one of the team accounts, but it should have been there, never was received, or money going missing because it was put cash money in this hand and never seen. Or kids, a personal Venmo and, I don't know, what's the other email thing, Cash Out. That kids were getting personal money sent to them to then have to cash out and put into those accounts. I'm not saying they're not doing it, but I just wanna make sure they're being held for safety, not doing it.
Now, we can't control the students if they're receiving money and not giving it to the sponsor.
But if they're asking for it under our school district name, we just wanna make sure there was an email sent out to
Coach Aaron
coaches saying
knows
that
that that's
there's.
not how it is.
If you know or you hear about something like that, the people need to go to Dr. Roy.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. He's in charge, or if it's an athletic issue.
Well, I did send that to
They need to go
Samantha.
to Ms. Wills.
For
That's
your-
not something for us to decide. That's his job. I did it for 14 years. It's his job.
There's that blooming onion. Okay. All right, so after that, I just wanna say, Dr. Roy, welcome. Thank you so much for signing up, for everything you signed up for. And Mr. Lucky, congratulations and welcome to the board.
I'm excited.
I try not to have too many questions, but sometimes it just happens.
Is that it?
It's not so bad.
I'd like to clarify, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was Crystal for the first couple of years, and then it was Kim, and sometimes it was both of them, and those days were tough. They were like legal pads, full on both sides. We were.
Yes, they should.
Clarify real quick, just on record, when I say we don't charge for the energy audit, we don't charge anything up front. We do have a walkaway fee if you guys decide not to do anything with the information we give you. I just wanna make sure that that's.
So you're saying you're not doing this out of the kindness of your heart?
I would love to,
Okay.
but I've never had to charge a walkaway fee yet, so I just wanna throw that.
And you said your MRS code?
Amoresco.
Amoresco.
I'll bring you a card. We've got I was working with Mr. Boyles on this and it's kind of rolled over now, so.
Absolutely.
All right, so the only thing I want to say is welcome Dr. Roy, welcome Larry Lucky to the board. I'm excited about having a man up here to give us a perspective.
One day both.
Yeah. And it's just, like you were talking about full circle. I worked with your dad many, many years ago, and it's so cool now, and you taught my kids in school, and so it's just so cool to now have a different relationship with you, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I look forward to it.
I got to see students of mine from the 90s
Yeah,
today.
yeah. Well, you know you're old when you say, which has happened to me now, oh, I taught your mom. No,
Oh.
that's my grandmother. That happens to me a lot, so I quit saying that, so.
And he was my teacher.
He was your teacher too.
He was my teacher.
And that was rough.
I can only imagine that.
Can you imagine? I had her 2 hours a day, her senior year. She called, she knew everything.
Okay. I'm ready for cake. I don't know.
Yes.